Hey everyone, and welcome to another Factorio Friday Facts, number 400, chart search in pins. I'm Exterminator, and thanks for joining me today. And we are going to go ahead and just hop right into it. Now, I know that a lot of folks in the community thought that the number 400, is going to be a significant Friday Facts. I shouldn't say that. That's the wrong word. Not like something huge, right? Like a huge reveal, maybe a guaranteed release date, or just something just kind of really big, like all the new enemies or something like that. But this is, to me, still pretty important. This is another quality of life, which is really fantastic. There's actually kind of two quality of lives. One of them they don't really mention here, but it's near the bottom, and we'll get into that shortly. So let's just go ahead and start this off. So the UI search, this is by Corex. So basically, when it comes to UI, one of the things that Factorio does pretty well is being able to search for for things in the window where you're looking. So like if you open up, the logistics network, or if you open up your inventory with the crafting menu, you can start to search in there and find the item you're looking for, and it's super helpful. I've used it quite a few times, even after playing for like 10 years now, and it's especially helpful with mods and stuff as well. So you can just he says you stop thinking about it and press the control F shortcut to search whenever you look for something, right? But once we really got used to it, we suddenly started to want to search even when not in some window, but just in the game itself. This combined with the fact that the most frequent question in multiplayer games was, hey, where do we make X, please? Or especially once planets were added and such. And then even just now, if you enter a multiplayer game or you enter someone else's map or something, especially like for me when I do base tours or something, I have to spend quite a bit of time looking around to figure out where everything is. But with this new feature, I wouldn't have to do that, and people in multiplayer games wouldn't either, because it basically lets you just search for something and it will bring you to that on the map, like where something is made, which is really, really fantastic. So why not extend it to the whole map? And we were not sure about what exactly should be searchable, so we just started from the most obvious, the production search. So basically you can see this demo here of them doing this, and you can just hit Control F. I assume that would be, and then it opens up, or so they went to remote view, I think, and then went to search and search for laser, and you can see what planet it's on, and it brings you to it, and then they search for battery, and it brings you to that, right? And then there were a couple other little icons next to it here, like this pin thing that we'll get into here shortly. But then, so services, this is the service thing, you can add your different services, but for the search, it just brings you right to it. The only thing I will say is that the kind of the visuals of it aren't particularly appealing. This may just be a placeholder type of thing. Personally, I mean, it is a difficult thing because, like, if you have all the recipe icons on, I can see why you wouldn't want just this battery thing to show, because like if the recipe icons are on and stuff, it could really kind of blend in and be hard to see. But I don't know, for some reason the way that it's just on this kind of plain teal square thing is not super appealing to me. But I don't really mind even if it stays like this. I'll get used to it, and it's a super helpful feature, right? And you can see, so other searchable stuff. After the production search, we added a few things that we found useful after playtesting. So map tags, you can now search for map tags, which merge into one group when they are on top of assemblers of the same thing. Train stops. Now this is something that's super helpful as well. Now you can search in the train menu, but again, that's like several extra clicks that now with this feature you wouldn't have to do. You could just search for the train stops and find what you're looking for. And they say which are forced to be at the end of the list, as in some cases there tends to be a lot of them, which is smart. And then they go on to say that we could consider to add more to the search, like locations of logistic chests containing some items, but we decided to not go down this rabbit hole for now, mainly because it would naturally lead to the need of making all items in containers searchable, and it would become a performance nightmare, not even talking about the possible huge spam of search results. Of course, there might be some good ideas of other things we could make searchable. You can let us know. So yeah, definitely. I've seen some people sharing some feedback on some good ideas, and if you guys have good ideas, I'd like to hear them in the comments, but also share them with the devs on their forums and Reddit. But I think I definitely am glad that they chose this. Sure, looking at logistic chess or chess in general would be great, but at least for me, I would rather have the performance and not have this feature than have this feature and take a hit on performance just to be able to search in chess, which would be really helpful, like I said. But again, I would prefer the game to run faster and more efficiently without that. Now, pins, this is actually, I'm tempted to say better than this. I mean, they don't really work as well without each other, and this is still fantastic, but the pins is something that I do find myself, wanting pretty often actually. In fact, I was just playing the 2.0 sim with Will yesterday, and there were several instances where this would have been super, super helpful. So they say, as we show in the search part, there are these little pins next to search results, which are the connection to the related feature, the pins. So the motivation for this was, I'm in a big base, I search for an item, try to go there, halfway there I kind of lose my place and have to search for it again to keep myself on track. It didn't feel right. If only I could somehow mark the place where I want to go. So the pins feature was created, and obviously it is not rocket science, but the devil is in the details. So you can pin a search result using the pin button, but there's also a shortcut to pin any position or entity by default, Alt right click. And we love Factorio with their hotkeys and shortcuts, which is fantastic. So you could then just pin a thing, like if you want to just pin, maybe where you left your car. That would be helpful for a lot of people. That'd be helpful for me. Or pin, where an outpost is or something like that. You can totally do that. And then every pin shows you its location on the screen, or when off screen, it shows you an arrow at the edge of the screen with the distance to it. This is mainly for when you want to just run towards your destination. Since we don't expect a crazy amount of pins to exist, we added a list of all your pins on the mini-map where it can be edited or removed. And you can see that, so they actually have a pin, it looks like, for an alert, or for maybe for like walls, and then those walls are being damaged, but this looks more like an alert to me. But anyway, we have something blurred out here, and just a fun little tidbit, that there were some jokes, I think, either by the devs or by people on Reddit. There were some people, and in the Discord, I think, who like used AI or something to unblur this, and this is like a legitimate thing that can be done, because they did do that with the planet names, and so far it has been correct. But what this was unblurred as was ender pearls, which obviously we're not getting. So either the devs are majorly trolling, which is hilarious, and put that there knowing that someone would unblur it, or someone else or whoever's doing the unblurring is just joking. But yeah, obviously I can't tell what I mean, this is the icon for, like, this very much, if this were unblurred, this would look exactly like an ender pearl for Minecraft. And it would not surprise me that the devs are just totally messing with us, and that's exactly what this is, just because they knew someone would be curious and unblur it. So that's super funny if that's the case. But yeah, so this is the pins, which is super nice. And then the pin can be edited to change the caption, and you can also decide to not always show the arrow for the pin. This is mainly for cases when you use the pin as more of a long-term bookmark. But the arrow is what I really love. Like I said, there were a few cases yesterday when I was playing with Will where, they were like, oh, come get this in the base over here, come look at this, and, you can ping the map, but the thing is, it doesn't give you any indication in your actual, like, game screen where that is. So I had to multiple times, like, while running there, stop, open the chat, click the pin, look at the map where it is, and then, like, figure out which way I needed to run and stuff. So this would completely alleviate that, because I could just follow the arrow. Which is super, super nice. So there's that. And then, excuse me, most typical usage of the pins, you just temporarily pin something, possibly a search result, to run there. You pin something as a reminder of what you want to do next. Or your car Spidertron, which is super helpful. You can, oh, this is so cool. So you can pin other players in a multiplayer game, so you always know the location. And then when you die, automatically pins location your corpse. Thank God for this. I have this feature in a mod for myself when I stream, because I die a ton with my chat interaction. But having this in vanilla is just really good, right? So you can, if you go die in a biter base or something, it could be hard to find your body. Now it does put a pin, or it does put ping your location again, like with the normal ping. But again, you have to open the chat, find it, and then make your way there. But with this, you can just have the arrow guiding you to where you need to go. And then we have tags and pings. Isn't this too much? And they say it might seem like a little too confusing to have map tags and pings and also pins, but they say this still, still believe that this is a good feature and needed. And they say map tags are shared between everyone on the map and are meant as a persistent marker for some position. Pings are very temporary, and then pins are unique for each player, right? So that's important to note, is the pins won't be showing up for everybody, which is nice, because then you're not having like 50 different pins and all, or yeah, in all different directions, and such. It only shows the ones that you mark. So or yeah, so like if someone was like, come over here and look at this, and they pinged like what we have now, then you could pin that ping yourself and you'd be the only one who sees the pin, right? So that's super helpful. Really, I really like this. It seems, I mean, it is kind of small, but it's also really big. The search and then combined with the pins is fantastic. And then a new alerts GUI, which is a super short section here. Overall short Friday Facts, but still, it's quality of life stuff. It's like, how come we haven't had this for the last year or so, or multiple years? And it's fantastic. Basically, they just redid the alert. So the old system, the old alert system was quite simple, and its simplicity was functional enough. So basically, when you click the flashing alert slot, it would open the map with the most important alert. But they say, however, with Space Age, as with all things, we need to go further. Opening the map on a random planet where you click an alert isn't that useful, right? And I would argue that even now, I don't find it particularly useful, because it's still, I mean, they say basically if you click the alert, it would just open the map to the most important alert, but like sometimes you want to be able to choose which one you're looking at, or I do at least. So this is actually the alerts feature, something that I've thought was actually lacking for a good while, and it's really great to see that they're improving it. And they say you might not care about some wall damage on Novice, but your space platform being smashed apart is quite a different story. Exactly. So now when you click on an alert icon, it will open the new alerts overview, where it's actually, a full GUI here, and it will show you all of your alerts, and better yet, where they're located. So you can see we have one on Novice with some missing materials, and then Fulgora we have materials, etc. But it shows you where they are, which is super nice, and you can pin them, right? So list items is separated by planet, and clicking an item will take you to the location on the map. There's also the button to pin the alert, so you can utilize the pins feature as mentioned before. The alerts are still segregated by category, so things like missing materials and damage alerts show as separate alert slots as it is now, right? So that's super useful, right? Because then we're gonna have 5 planets, I believe, total, including Novice. So that's a lot of stuff to go through. Well, plus space platforms as well. So having this is just going to be really nice, really more organized to be able to find all your alerts. And they say, as always, ping your thoughts at the usual places. And I love like little jokes and puns at the end of the Friday Facts. But there we go. A very short one today, but quality of life is never really, it's, in my opinion, is never a bad thing, especially with the Factorio devs. They always add things, in my opinion, that are needed, even if you didn't know you need it, and don't seem to really ever overdo it. I know in some cases, some software and stuff like that maybe can have like too much of it that it's cluttered, but I think this type of thing is really useful and is kind of only going to be only going to kind of be there when you need it, not like always in the way type of thing. So I love it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below. If the pattern holds next week, I believe we'll probably be getting some sort of like behind the scenes performance or details on like how some sort of design thing was done. And then after that, so not next week, but the week after that, probably some big content. That's a general pattern we've been having, and I think so far it's held basically every single time. Last week was an exception just because we had 2 back-to-back big contents, but that's just because they did like a huge teaser on Fulgura. But overall, really fantastic. And if there's some Easter eggs or something I missed with anything shown, let me see here. Oh, this is interesting. So this, That looks like, is that the discharge defense? So this though, oh, this is a Spidertron remote, I think, or a different remote, but interesting. So does that mean it's no longer an actual item? Okay, well, I mean that'd be sweet if it's just like a a tool thing like you have, like they're turning red and green wire into just like tools on your toolbar or whatever. If the remote is like that, that would be awesome. And then I'm curious how they're going to handle multiple remotes. Maybe it will open like another GUI itself, and you can select them. But or maybe it's something else entirely. But this is the only thing I think I noticed so far that is new, and then of course the blurred thing, which is I'm pretty sure just a joke, which is really funny. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. If you're excited about these features, definitely drop a like on the video. And if you're new, welcome, and feel free to subscribe to keep up with future content, Friday Facts, and 2.0 sim playthroughs, and mod spotlights, and more. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.